Good morning. Greetings from the porch. Uh, First things first, a shameless self-promotion. Please subscribe and like this channel and this video and share it. And maybe I can hopefully someday monetize this channel and raise some funds to publish my upcoming book. Working title, Half-Life of a Twinkie. All right. Anyway, I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and during the conversation, I remembered that one morning, about 6, maybe 7 weeks ago, I woke up, and there was like a little fragment, a little wisp of a dream that was still lingering. And the only thing that I remembered was Frank Zappa saying, "Here we go again." And I was like, what? And I just tried to grasp at that little wisp of vapor there, but I couldn't really get any more than that, so I scratched my head and pondered, and it went nowhere. Fast forward a few weeks later, and news of a scandal, as they call it, came out of the church about some folks who were misrepresenting what Father was telling them. And then that fragment this came in again, and it brought me back to the 80s, when there's a whole bunch of scandal in the church. Reverend Jackson was doing some questionable things, and so was Reverend Swaggart, and so were the Bakers, Jim and Tammy Baker. And Frank Zappa wrote some brilliant songs about them. They were obnoxious, but they were really brilliant. Zappa was being Zappa. Then I realized, these scandals have been in the church for a long time. I mean, John Lake had his scandals, Amy Semple McPherson and Alexander Dewey, but that's just in the past, the past century or so, and there's been scandals all the way back, This is nothing new, and we're going to have this stuff whenever humans get thrown in the mix. And when these things happen, the world as a whole and the church go into shark ethic mode. Eat the wounded. That's not what we're supposed to do as a church. We're not supposed to eat the wounded. We're supposed to heal the wounded. And rather than attack these people, we should be restoring them and healing them and working through whatever these problems are. But let's take it to the next level. Yeah, sure, there's personal correction and all that, but what about the church as a whole? I believe that when these things happen, it's often not just one individual. It's indicative of what's going on with the church as a whole. People are trying to perform and do things that make them look good, or try and do things that make God look good. Well, there's nothing you can do to make you look good, because you are the image of God. And God can't look any better than he already is. It just can't be done. But what if this correction isn't just for the individual, but it's for the church as a whole? What if, the church is like a tree that's being pruned? You need to cut off the branches that aren't healthy, so the whole tree can be healthy. And I'm not saying we cut these people off, but we just need to make everybody healthy as a whole. It's part of the refining process. Isaiah talks about, gold, being put through the refiner's fire and being purified, and we'll see this in some of the other prophets. Think about refining gold. Let's say you got a piece of jewelry that you want to sell, cash value for gold and all that. They don't just take that piece of gold jewelry and melt it down. They have to refine it, because a piece of jewelry gets little tiny things of yuck on it, and you need to purify that before you can make gold out of it. And when you refine gold, you put it in a cauldron that's called a crucible, and you put it in there, You add a little bit of what they call dross, which kind of takes out the impurities, and you crank up the heat. You crank up the heat till it melts, and all the impurities get attached to the dross. And what happens is this liquid gold starts to simmer and boil as all the impurities come to the surface. And during this process, you just scrape off the impurities, and it continues to boil. They come to the surface, and you scrape them off, and it continues to boil, and so on until all the impurities are out. All the yuck is gone. And the way you can tell when the gold is refined, when the gold is purified, is that it stops boiling. I mean, it's still hot. It's still very, very hot, but the liquid is smooth. It's like smooth like a lake under a bright blue sky with no wind, and it reflects like a mirror. And when the refiner is looking at the melted gold in the crucible, it's so calm, it's so smooth. The refiner can see his reflection in it. When we're being refined, when we're being purified, when we're getting all the garbage taken out, the refiner, the Creator, the Father, can look at us and see his reflection in us. So, yeah. And that's all I got to say. Have a great day. It's cold out here. Bye now.